You're listening to the Media Man Dan podcast, your place for music, movies, news, reviews, and interviews. Welcome to the show. Get ready to rock. Let's rock! What's up, guys? It's Media Man Dan, and I am here with the awesome band Crushing Plains, all the way from Texas. We're going to be talking to PJ, Melanie, and James of the band about their awesome time as a band and what they have going for the future. Overall, I have a ton of questions because I never go into an interview unprepared. I just sweat a lot, basically what I'm doing right now.
Sweat a lot, yes.
So basically, the easiest part. How is your year going so far? We've only had like less than a month. How is everything going?
Well, so far it's been insane. We're currently in the studio working on an EP. So we've been working on that pretty much weekly, just going in when we can and tracking guitars, tracking drums. We're fixing to move into bass here this week / next week. And the goal is to hopefully release that EP in a couple months, maybe May, April or so. We're not really sure exactly because we're still, mixing and mastering and all that. And then we also have a show coming up that's in early February. So we hit the ground running this year, and we have a lot of exciting stuff going with the band, and we're excited to share new music and play more shows and just grow what we're doing and share it with more people. Awesome.
And you already answered one of my questions. I was going to ask about an album possibly coming this year. So that was a really simple one. An EP we're going to be looking forward to. And you said sometime in spring. This is coming up. That's just 3 months away, I would say. Yeah. That's fantastic.
We're very excited about it. It's going to be next level. We're really excited about the music. We're really excited about the sound. Everything is coming together really well, and we're excited to share it with people because we've done a lot of singles up to this point. We did an EP in 2020, but we're just really pumped about this next project. It's going to be awesome.
Excellent. Yeah, you actually was binging your entire discography again today because I was just like, you know what I want to do? I want to compliment them on how they keep me entertained. That's one of the things about most bands I listen to. I listen to album after album after album. And for you guys, the first song got me. And then I'm like, oh, you know what? I like that it transitions and it changes speed. There's that one like ballad that sounds like it came from the 50s. I love that one. I was showering to that today. Too much information.
No, it's okay. I highly encourage everyone to shower to our music. It's great way
right.
To music.
So
we're excited about more music coming out because it really shows us or shows the world where we are now as a band. And I think that's fun to go back on Spotify and really look at, some of our other EPs and singles and just kind of see our progression as we've been figuring out what is our sound and who we are as a band too. So
Absolutely.
I'm excited about this one because there's a lot of cool stuff that's about to happen with our music.
And it's so exciting. And I could see you guys are really, really enjoying what you're doing right now. And like you said, you're mixing. That's a lot of hard work. I wouldn't know because I didn't fully go through school in order to be a producer. But with the things that I did learn in the basics, I was like, yeah, that's a lot of math and science and playing around with instruments to make sure they sound perfect. It's an art in itself. That's what I should say. Basically, the next question I was going to be going to was, how is the new baby?
Do you want to answer that question? I was not expecting that question.
I know. It's an outside of the music question, but there's plenty more music ones.
Right. He's out, which is the most important thing.
Meaning out of the womb.
I'm not having to carry him around anymore because it's very hard as a drummer, especially when you have so much that you're carrying around, and then you also have this tiny human being in you that's like added weight. So I'm very grateful that he has, entered our worlds, and he's doing so good. He is huge though. He is.
Yeah,
he's huge.
Yeah, he's a big baby, which is pretty cool.
All right. And your other child is getting along with everything, not feeling the jealousy that most kids do.
No, she's doing great. She's a sweet girl, very, very good natured. She loves being a big sister, and it's been really great.
Awesome. That is amazing. The thing that I would look forward to out of anything in the world would be a father one day. So I congratulate you again. The next question I have for you is, what are your plans for this year as a band? Wait a second. That was already answered.
Well, I can go into more detail in regards to that question as far as like what our goals are, because obviously we have the EP coming out. Obviously, we're going to continue to do shows and whatnot. But I know for us, some things that we're really excited to hopefully get to do, and then this is kind of like depending on if things can work out, is we want to be able to record some music videos. That's something that obviously I do. It's a big part of my, like job is directing music videos for a lot of different bands. And I always dreamed of doing one for like my own band, and I haven't had a chance to. Like we've done like lyric videos and stuff, but I want to do like a full-on music video that we can just rock out with and have fun. And with this EP, we're really going to push for that and try to do it. I already got like, people that I'm talking to about all that. So that's something that we're really excited about doing. And then on top of that, we're, hopefully, and this is something I know we've talked about, we would love to be able to do a show outside of Houston, whether that be in Austin or San Antonio or somewhere outside of just the city that we live in, because we've done a lot of shows all over town, but we really want to get outside of town for at least one show and just be able to share our music outside of Houston, because we've really built up a pretty decent fan base here, and it's been great, and we love playing here. But I know I grew up in North San Antonio, and it's like, I know a lot of my friends that I grew up with are always like, when you coming to San Antonio? And I'm like, I would love to, because it would feel like almost, going home and seeing friends and playing to them. I think that'd be a lot of fun. So that's a big hope for this year, is hopefully we can get outside of Houston and go to either San Antonio or Austin and play a show out there, because that would be really great.
Excellent. Yeah, my first thought was, oh, you're going to go to a different state. Okay, come to Illinois, but don't do it in February.
Hey, we can do it.
Yeah, I would love to. It's all just like analytics and planning stuff, and I don't know why I said analytics, like YouTube. Yeah, logistics. Been on YouTube too long, but like, yeah, it's all just that and trying to figure out ways to do it. But we want to grow what we're doing to the point where we can go outside of Texas to other places. But I know I've always viewed it as like baby steps, get our city figured out, grow a fan base there, step outside of our city, grow within the state, and then get outside the state. So it's all just taking steps as we go along. And because we're doing it all on our own, we're very much an indie band. Sometimes it's like the steps take a little bit to kind of figure out and gauge where we're at. But so far it's been super great and a lot of fun.
Excellent. And the best part about being in a band, if I ever were to be in one, would be having fun. I have a lot of my friends that get stressed. They say that like it's really hard to schedule things and making sure that people are following through on their engagements that they say that they're going to be there for. And it seems like you guys are all in for it all the way, which is the best part of being in a band, seeing them grow and also progressing, like Melanie was saying before. It's going to be really exciting. I'm excited to see what the EP comes out with. And you might make me do another reaction. Like, you stopped doing reviews. I stopped doing reactions now. I might go back just for you guys, just for you.
We would appreciate it. It would be an honor.
Absolutely. The next question I have, and this is going to be pertaining specifically to James, just because I've seen a lot of PJ, I've seen a lot of Melanie, and I've followed James, but I haven't really been able to chat with him before. So I'm going to go with, how long have you known PJ and Melanie here?
Actually, that's a really good question. Yeah, I think since like 2018, and for the longest time, I didn't even know that you guys had a band. They just never talked about it, and it's like they knew that I was a musician, and I just hung out around them a whole lot and was just never even thought of it. And then just casually one day, PJ just brings up that, oh yeah, we got this EP coming out, and I'm just like, what? Like, when did this happen? Like, why
What a
have
shock.
you never mentioned any of this to me? And he's like, oh, I didn't think about it. I was just like, what the heck? Okay. And yeah, I mean, after that, we just started talking music more often. Then I wound up part of the band.
Awesome. I was hoping that you were gonna say, since they never talked about it, PJ was playing his music in the background one day, and you were just like, what's that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we dropped a single last night. No, that's awesome though. For since 2018, I can't even tell you what year it is. Okay, 5 years ago. Awesome. The next question I have is, how did you start playing guitar? And I didn't put bass for some reason. And did you have any big inspirations that got you into that instrument?
So yeah, actually, I got into music because when I was real young, the church that my family went to, they played a lot of like older school, like gospel jazz type music in church. And I just grew really close with their bass player and always kind of looked up to him, kind of like a father to me. And I still talk to him pretty regularly, or at least I try to talk to him pretty regularly here and there. And I think I started practicing music in school when I was like 9. And when I turned 10 or 11, my dad bought me my first bass. And I just kept learning and growing from there. I mean, I spent like 8 years doing orchestra as an upright bass player, which is where a bunch of like my foundation is all in classical. And then I got into jazz band for several years. I just stuck with it from middle school to high school. And I started college for music theory and then quickly figured out college was not for me. And
I'm with you there.
I'm just gonna cut that before I waste my time and the time of people around me. And actually that turned out to be kind of a beneficial move for me. So, but I mean, it worked out really well in the long run, I think. So
Excellent.
I mean, Crushing Plains. So
exactly.
That's what I was.
Go
Yeah,
in.
you ended up with Crushing Plains, and you are crushing it right now. If you guys will ignore the pun there.
Very nice.
All right. The last question. No, this is not the last. What am I saying? What has been your favorite venue to play at? And this is going to pertain to all of you guys, each one by one.
Oh my gosh, Houston is such a cool music scene to be a part of, because there's so much personality in every venue that we played at. I mean, we played at venues that like much bigger bands have played at. And that brings like kind of a romanticism to it, and the fact that you're like, I'm in the same venue that like, one of my favorite indie bands played in, or like stuff like that. And then we've also played at little like hole in the wall bars that it's like, there's not a lot of people there, but it's like we go in there and we play our heart out and just have a blast with it. And I think I know what venues they're going to say. So I'm actually going to pick a different one.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm going to intentionally pick one I don't think they're going to pick, and they're probably going to be shocked by this. But to me, it is a venue that I've never played a venue like this in my life. And I've never been to a venue like this in my entire life. And it was so crazy. It was a place called Super Happy Funland. Yeah.
Is this a children's park?
No, but literally the entrance, like you walk in the venue and it's literally a giant pile of Raggedy Ann dolls.
Oh my goodness.
And
it's children's toys everywhere.
There's children's toys hanging from the ceiling, and there's like graffiti everywhere. It's a crazy place. And the thing is like when we played there wasn't even that many people there. But like we always kind of agreed that was one of the best shows we ever played. And not many people were there to see it, but like there was no AC. It was the middle of summer, and we were caked in sweat, and we were just playing our heart out in this like crazy venue that had like Raggedy Ann dolls like laying in a big pile and like toys hanging from the ceiling.
Oh my goodness.
It was just a wild experience. And so to me, it's like, I'm not saying it's the nicest venue, but to me, it had the most personality and the most character, and it's still one of the most memorable shows that we ever played. Because I just will never forget walking in that venue and going, "Where are we? Like, what is this?"
See, what I was thinking when you said there was going to be dolls when you first walk in, I was like, is there black light? Is this going to be like Sid's room from Toy Story? Is that what we're looking at?
It was a wild place, but it was definitely still to this day, I think it was one of our most intense shows, because I literally, like, I was rocking out so hard that like I tore up my knees real bad because I was like jumping up and like landing on my knees.
Yeah.
Because I mean, when you feel the music, you feel the music. And I was feeling it big time that night. So when it was all over, I was like, oh, my knees are bloody. I missed my big time.
Yeah.
But it was a crazy show. It was a crazy show.
Hey, that is rock and roll.
Yeah.
It's rock and roll. That's for sure.
I'm trying to figure out which one you are. Guess I'm gonna do a different one.
You're gonna do a different
Here's
one
the
from
thing.
me.
Here's the
Oh
thing.
my
If we're
goodness.
talking about like big venues that big acts play at White Oak Music Hall naturally, because it is gorgeous.
It's a
It is
beautiful
just
music venue.
Beautiful venue.
Exceptionally clean.
Yeah. That's like the venue you go in and they make sure you're like treated very well. They're
Mm.
setting up for you on stage. There's all that kind of stuff. But if we're talking about just straight hometown venues, and it would probably be like Dan Electro's.
Yeah.
I love the vibe of Dan Electro's. It's not the biggest stage, but I mean, we've had some of the best crowds there. I think the energy there is just, it's always amazing. And I think that's why I really like playing Dan Electro's.
It's people go there to hear music. It's like a
Awesome.
little car bar, and it's really good.
I feel like.
It's a great place. We had a lot of positive experiences there.
Good acoustics as well.
Well, the truth is with all venues, that's kind of a toss up. Like to me,
The
it's
microphone
like,
turned on this night. It was okay.
yeah. Like I've definitely
Exactly.
we played at venues before where it's like I'm playing and the delay is so intense that it's literally I'm like, hey, and it's like
Oh no.
back to me. And so I'm like trying to sing the song, but it's like it's repeating like a 2-second delay back at me.
Yeah.
Which is like, yeah, it
And
can be
the sound
distracting.
guy isn't behind the booth.
Yeah.
He's like at the bar.
Yeah, he's at the bar hitting on the
Like,
bartender.
okay.
I'm like, whoa, dude, I can't. It's real hard to sing right now, you know.
Oh my goodness. All right. James,
your-
it's up to you.
I feel like I stole one of yours.
Yeah, you stole one of mine. I will easily pick Acadia then.
Oh,
I
Excellent.
love Tommy,
he's the sound guy at Acadia.
and
Okay.
I'm a huge audio geek, so I love talking shop with Tommy. He and I are always just talking about what he's been doing, this, that, and the other, how he's controlling things. Because that's so much of what I spend my time doing these days. He's a great dude. Really nice sound system in there.
My goodness,
It
it's
is. It's a very
Very loud.
It
and
is
I
super
love
loud.
it.
Yeah, like
It's-
blow your eardrums out. And you walk out and you're like, whoa, that was
What is that?
insane.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, no, awesome venue. I love playing in there. I love being in Acadia. That place is awesome.
It's a fun.
I can see that just by your face. You look like you just came from like Disneyland. Like, well this place is amazing.
Feels to me.
It's a fun venue.
Awesome.
It strikes up conversations with the audio guys.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
It's
we're always like, where's James? And then we find him and he's
Talking to the
Yeah.
audio guy.
I'm sitting there looking at how they're doing the routing or whatever on the console.
just fanboying over it.
Pretty much.
There's a small place right outside of O'Hare Airport in Rosemont that they play free shows every year, and they have like these cover bands that come in, and there's this one dude called Elton Ron that we got to see, and whoever does the mixing there is in the middle of this field with all of us. It's like tart, like, and it's not really anything grassy, but this guy has perfect sound. There's never any issue, and I'm like, how do you do that? As somebody, like I said, I only knew the basics. I know how to make a really good like chord go around my hand. I'm so good at that now. You wouldn't believe how many times I helped my grandpa fix the hardware that we were working on and then put the chord in the right place because of because of the basics. That's what helped me there.
I was gonna say you're better than me then, because like I make him die a little bit inside every time I wrap up a guitar cable, because I'm just
Drives me
No.
insane.
Wait, he doesn't do the opposite. He does the constant.
Yeah, he just either that or he'll do the whole like over
Oh,
elbow.
okay, hold
Oh
on.
no, the elbow.
No.
I don't do the over elbow thing. I don't do that.
Okay.
I'm only with power cables. But the thing is like I most of the time, especially after a show, I am so like my brain is like fried
Yes.
because I have major stage anxiety. So anytime like we have a show, I'm like big time, just like in the zone. I'm in a box. I'm like, no laughter, no joy. It will be focused on the show. And then once it's over, I'm just like euphoric. I'm just so like, I feel this weight lifted off me. So a lot of times I'm just like, how do I wrap a cable again? I can't, so I'm just
the first year of our band when we had James, they bickered like an old married couple.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting there going, I do not care.
Yeah.
Well, you're all still together. That's a miracle for some bands. The little bickering can cause trouble, but you guys have stuck it through. And PJ, you're gonna master the chords. It's the simplest thing. It's like over one way, then you put your hand under, and then you go over the top, and then you put it back.
It's always the hand movement that I always get thrown off on, and I'm always like rapping, and I'm like, what the heck? I always get confused. And believe me when I say this, he has showed me multiple times, like, just do this. I'm like, okay, and I try to watch, and I'm like, I write the lyrics, So.
All right, excellent. Well, hey, I appreciate that you're trying to learn it, and that you have put so much time to make sure that PJ can get it down.
I'm doing what I can.
I'll get there one day.
But for the next question, I have James. What is your favorite song personally for the band so far?
Oh, so my default is going to be Erase, of course, but I was going to say Story of Gravity. I just really love the way that the song vibes.
Yeah.
It because it gets into it really well, because it has a nice start and then you just slowly build with it. And I like playing it. It's fun. I mean, not a whole lot else that I can really say about it.
Yeah.
But you said Erase originally because it has a great bass line on that one.
Yeah, because it was the first song that we really wrote that I was actually like intended.
Yeah. Because everything was before James, and then Erase was like his introduction to like our band. And we were like, when we released the single, it was like, hey, James, he's our bass player. And so that was a big part of when we recorded it. We wanted James to kick the song off because they're like, we want it to be very much like, here's our new bass player. Listen to how cool he sounds. And so that was like a big part of what Erase was kind of like an introduction to James.
That's so awesome and sentimental. Like, some people just write the song and they're like, I like it because it has the good words here, and I like this riff here, but you actually have a meaning behind it. Like you said, that was like his introduction, and you guys really put him at the forefront for that one. That's awesome. And you were confident on stage the first time, I'm guessing, as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really worried about it. I mean,
James doesn't really struggle with confidence on stage, I feel like.
Well, it's not a confident. I just have anxiety. I get nervous about it.
Gotcha.
So, because once the music starts, I'm good. I'm like rocking out. I'm throwing my guitar around. I'm getting into it. But it's that build up. It's like I get in my head. I'm like freaking out.
Yeah.
We're over like goofing off.
Yeah, just cracking jokes.
And
I'm like, guys, this is serious. Like, come on.
We're looking at him and just poking him with a stick.
Yeah.
Basically what our job is.
I'm the tormented artist just in the corner, like shaking, like.
All right. Well, that is a great dynamic to have, though. Everybody has their own, feel for the stage. And like you said, you like the end of it. You like that brain turn off. I just kicked ass on stage the entire time. Look at me. I'm feeling good tonight. All right. Melanie, you are next. I want to know, how long have you had passion for your instrument, which would be the incredible drums that you play? I was listening once again to the first song that you guys ever made, and man, does that one have a great drum track.
It's funny to hear you say that, because it's hard for me sometimes to go back and listen to our older stuff, because I was like, man, we played that so slow when we recorded. Now we're on stage and I'm like, dut, 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 dut.
We play that song really fast.
Crazy how much things have changed. I'll say this, I come from a musical family too. I know James kind of was talking about that with his. My brother is actually a professor at Juilliard School of Music. And then I have a sister who's been in the EDM market. I don't know what you call it. What is it? Scene. And she's done some pretty big shows like in Vegas and stuff. And then my other sister, she was a drummer for a long time too. So I guess I've always had a passion just for music in general. And as I got into adulthood and could kind of really start to afford things like a drum set, that was just the instrument that just called my name. And I just started investing a lot more time into it and, just really exploring it and exploring all the things that I could do. And I would talk to other drummers about like, what are you doing? And like, how do you do that? And, just kind of learning on my own. I did eventually kind of pay for some lessons. So I'm like, I need to know how to read music. Like, this is ridiculous. Like, I need to know some things about the drums.
Beat for measure kind of thing.
Yeah. But it has just been my instrument since I really just owned it from the time I was like 20 or so and now into my 30s. So it's just been my baby and it's my passion. And, it's funny working with people who play guitar. This is one of our big things is I'm like, y'all don't understand how complex this instrument is. I think a lot of people look at drummers and like, you just like hit things. And,
no.
And at practice, they're like, just do da-da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, what toms do you want me to hit? Like, what does that look like? And so
we've gotten better. We've gotten better.
So much better communicating about what that is and knowing each other's instruments. But it is pretty funny. Like, I get very protective of my instrument and, what I do and, just how difficult it can be. And a lot of times I'm listening to other people's music and I'm just like, wow, this is amazing. Like I kind of tune out all the other instruments and I just hear drums and I just focused on what they're doing. I'm like, this is so good. I love it so much. And so big passion for drums. But I do come from a musical family as well.
Excellent. And I was going to ask what your inspirations are music wise. So the family is a big part of it. Do you have any specific artists that like you heard the drums, maybe like Rush or Avenged Sevenfold or some people like that?
Yeah, so you said Rush. Oh my goodness. Neil Peart, right? So I had them actually on cassette tape, like some of their greatest hits on cassette back in the day. And I listened to that all the time growing up, but I would say also bands like Chevelle and Nirvana. And then as I got older, there were newer bands where there were more females involved, like the Pack AD. And that just really, I don't know. It was like finding that confidence to go out and do it. You're not seeing a lot of girls doing it. And then I know I saw the Pack AD one day, like on YouTube probably. And I was like, this is amazing. Like, I can do this. Like, why am I not in a band? Why am I not doing this? So I was like, let me turn in this hobby of mine into something creative and just go out there and make a band and like, let's get this started. And so, all those bands kind of play into it and they are a variety. I do listen to a variety of music, but I don't know, like they really inspired me just to kind of do what I'm doing and to try new things and to try different styles. And I've just honestly, all those bands I've loved like my entire life for the most part. So.
Excellent. I love that. And as I was just saying about James before, like he gets excited when he talks about like his favorite venue. You get excited when you're talking about the drums. It's so prevalent in everyone's facial expression. Like you really truly love what you do. And that's like what I love seeing all the time. Also, I will shout out The Warning if you wanted to see one of the youngest drummers I've seen so far that has killed it since they were like 8 years old or something. I had a reaction I did to that band and I couldn't believe it. I was like, how do you put your hands across in such a young age and keep the tempo? It's insane. I don't know. I have a delay though, so that doesn't help me for drums. The next question I have is, how do you manage being a mom and also being in a band?
Oh,
And do
boy.
you give yourself time to rest, sleep, relax?
Let's just say, and they can testify, mama needs her sleep. And
When mama tries to drum without sleep, it's not a good combo.
Oh no.
Okay. And so I'm pretty good about being vocal on what my needs are, and they know that at times I can be pretty fiery.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, about it. But honestly, just you just kind of got to find that work-life balance, right? You got to have your passions. Like, I love my kids. I'm passionate about my kids. I'm passionate about, also what I do for a living and drums. And there's like 1,000 other things that I'm passionate about and that I'm actively trying to do. And you just find time. A lot of times, yeah, that is sacrificing, your sleep schedule a bit, but it's just so worth it. And then I think it's just awesome because there's been so many other moms and other females who've come up to me and they're just like, I just didn't think I could do anything else. Like, I just thought this was it, like, got married, had kids, and that's it. And they're like, but I see you doing that. And like, it just makes me want to actually pursue something that is of interest to me, that is uniquely me. And that gives me strength and keeps me going, because I want to inspire other women to, be more than just a mom. And it's so important to be a mom, but it's like, you're still you, and you still have those interests and passions, even if you're, in your 30s or 40s or whatever, and to really just pursue those things and to kind of demand that time, and be vocal about it. Like, don't put yourself on the back burner, because that's what so many moms especially do. Occasionally, like, advocate for yourself and find that time.
Absolutely. Yeah, like you said, being an inspiration for so many other young women, women that are more experienced with being a mom. It's awesome that they can come up to you and feel like, oh, I want to be a rock star too. What would you, recommend? And PJ said that you're really, really good with the fans and stuff like that when we had our live stream, I think it was last year. And I love that aspect of you. You're awesome for the band, and also awesome for PJ. I was so happy.
Highly agree.
I am.
I completely agree.
Yeah, I was
definitely
so
my
happy.
better half.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you are.
Seeing PJ from YouTube back in the day all the way till now, it's like a great progression, and you could see how much happier he got when he found you. So I was so happy for him.
Cheers to that. No, nothing to add with that. That was beautifully said. Good job.
All right. And your favorite song personally?
I mean, it kind of depends on the day. I'll be honest. It kind of depends on the day. That is a great question. I've got a couple that are in my head right now.
Are you saying your favorite song,
Like-
or our song that is your favorite?
Oh, yeah. Let me specify on that. I'm excited to hear this though.
Oh, my
Also,
goodness.
but yeah, your favorite song from your band.
Man, there's so many good songs in the world.
Yeah.
That is a very difficult
Pick
question.
one.
out of 1 billion that have been released last year.
I like how you're just hanging on over there.
Well, I was like, wait, hold on. I think
I was trying to understand where you're going with it.
I was like, maybe it's an inspirational thing. Maybe it's like, oh, this song reminds me of our song.
So our favorite song, well,
your
I
favorite
have
song.
two right now, and they actually haven't been released. So one is called Burn Me, and it is a very grunge rock, very Nirvana-esque song. And I am so excited to get that one
Recorded eventually.
recorded.
It's not on this
Hopefully
EP.
soon.
It's not on
Okay.
this EP.
I am pushing for it. I was just telling them earlier, I'm like, could we maybe release around December? And he was having a panic attack.
It's a times thing. I just
But
like
it's a time thing. I get it.
So your favorite
All right, second favorite song, or favorite song, tied for favorite song is Concrete.
Oh,
song? Okay.
100% also not released.
Also not a release.
You'll have to come to a show.
Yeah, you have to come to a show.
I'll take you up on that. You guys are in America. I would love to go to Texas one time. I know a lot of good influencers down there.
Yeah. One day, hopefully, we'll be able to get around. So yeah. Good job.
Perfect. I'm looking forward to that. You said grungy one though. You said close to Nirvana. That sounds awesome. And listening to PJ's vocals, which is definitely what I'm going to be talking about next. I am very excited to hear him scream and give that grit that he has now. So we're going to go into PJ. It's PJ time. How has your singing voice changed in the last 10 years?
That's a great. Okay, so I didn't start out singing. I never thought, I'm going to be a singer. Never in a million years thought that was the case. A big part of the reason why I even was singing with our band was because there was no one else to sing. I was like, oh, okay, I guess I'm playing guitar. I can sing. And originally finding my voice in our music was hard for me. Because when we first started, like, I'll just be honest, we did a lot of like covers of stuff. So we were like, oh, we play a White Stripes song together. And so I would try to sing like Jack White, and I can't really sing like Jack White. So it would feel really forced and not myself. And then I was like, oh, maybe I could try to sing like someone else. So it's like so it took a lot of like experimenting and trying different things, and even just a little bit of insecurity in that too. Cause I'm like, I don't know what my voice is. I don't know where my voice is yet. And then over the years, we kept playing together. And then once I found my voice, it was like no looking back. It was like, okay, this is my voice and this is how it works with our sound. And I derived a lot of confidence from that. And I was like, okay, I know how to do this. And even like with the scream I do, or the yell, I feel like it's more yell than a scream. It's funny because when people like were first hearing like some of our early recordings, they're like, what are you doing? Like, what is that? A scream? It's not like a growl. Like what? And I was like, I don't know. It's what I do. It's just like a yell, But people really gravitated towards it. They said it was like, oh, this is really grungy and heavy. It sounds cool. And so I was like, all right, cool. And I try to be sparing with it because obviously I don't want to just have every song just be just me yelling all the time. But sometimes it's fun. Like one of our new songs, like the little ending of it is just me kind of yelling like for like a stretch. And every time we do it live, like I get into it hardcore. And one time I was yelling so intensely and then like jumped backwards. I almost fell off the stage.
Oh my goodness.
Like jumped backwards. It was like, whoa, like almost falling off.
Oh my gosh.
Close one, guys.
All right. So basically you were saying that this song that you haven't released yet has a long yell scream at the end, and that your scream is very unique and a lot of people didn't know how to put it into like a specific genre. I would say it's hardcore, post-hardcore, something of that sort, but it's not like with metalcore riffs. It's like made for your specific genre that you guys are. I consider you post-grunge. I think it's awesome, and I'm excited to hear a lot more because you guys are like nobody else. That's the best kind of band that
that's a compliment. That's a compliment.
Yeah, I can't find anyone out there that sounds like you. I've listened to already probably over 100 albums this year alone, and I've been like, yeah, I'm getting tired of really boring indie rock music. So I'm like, whew, thank God PJ's band's on it always.
There you go. You try to bring the energy, and I can say this EP is going to have a lot more energy than our last single. Because that was one of the big things, is as much as we love Story of Gravity, and I still love that song. A lot of people were like, oh, we kind of like your heavier stuff. And I was like, but it was such a good song, But so we're excited for this new EP because like we got some, it's a lot of different stuff. We're blending like, oh yeah, like 1 minute we're like really intense, and the next minute we're really like, we're kind of in this pocket of a good groove with the drums and stuff. And so we try to have a lot of dynamics within that, but then with that, we try to bring the energy big time because we want to be able to have people like, we want to be known as an energetic band. Mm-hmm. And we have that in our live performance, but when it comes to studio stuff, we want to be able to still bring that energy, which can be a challenge sometimes, but it's been exciting exploring that and figuring out how to bring that to our fan base. So.
Well, I'm excited. I honestly, like the energy you've already had, you're like, it's not as much as we've had before. We want to have more. How could you have more? I like, you yell at me in what was it? Achilles Heel immediately starts out yelling at me. I'm like, yes, let's go. I hope that's like the opener that you guys chose for a while on tour, because it's so good.
Yeah, it's funny because like with with our set list, whenever we're designing kind of how we're going to do it, like, depending on the show and how long we're playing, it's very much like a pacing thing where it's like, all right, we're going to like start strong. We're going to slap people in the face right from the get-go. But PJ can't yell like for 30 minutes straight. So it's like, all right, so like we're going to start strong, like 3 heavy songs in a row. And then we got to like slow it down just a little bit, give me a break. Because most of it's like me a break. Like I need to have a song I'm not yelling the whole time.
Yeah.
And then it's like, all right, and then I get my energy back. I'm good to go. And then we jump back in. And it's always super important to one, open with a punch and end with a punch, because we want to like leave an impression on people that's like, wow, they were awesome. Like they were a lot of fun. They brought the energy. And because to me, I've never been the most technical guitar player. I'm not shredding up there or anything like that. But to me, it's like, I may not be shredding, but I'm going to play the crap out of that guitar. Like I'm going to jumping around with it. I'm like hitting it at the end of the set,
Oh yeah.
And just like getting into it. And so to me, like that's what I can bring to the stage. So
if it's going to be more intense, that means you're going to be doing guitar smashes, right? You're going to every end of the.
If only I had the budget to buy new guitars all the time.
Take one of those beginner guitars from like Walmart or something and just smash it every night.
I'll get like a rock what is it, Rock Band? Is that the game?
Yeah, the Rock Band.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you could smash
pull it out and smash it on stage.
Oh yeah, Guitar Hero, Rock Band, all that good stuff.
There you go.
Yes.
Exactly.
All right. So since I mentioned it before, I would love to do a reaction to your music when it comes out. And I will say that I miss the old PJ. So my next question is, are you planning on making one more review for the new Red album?
I've been hearing whispers about the new Red album coming out. I'm excited to hear it for sure. I feel bad because I feel like the last video I did before my sign off was like a dig on Red, and that's what people took it as, because the comments blew up and they're like, why can't people just like Red and like the music? And I was like, I love Red. Like I've seen Red more live than any other band. Like, and I feel like
he really does love Red.
I love Red. So to me, I'm like, I don't understand
a lot in the car.
I don't understand why like people in the comments thought I was digging on Red. It's like, no, it's not that. I'm going to listen to anything they release. And I'm not saying I'm going to listen to it on repeat, but it's like, I respect the guys enough to listen to their work when they release it. And I respect what they do. I respect them as musicians. I don't want to say I've met them. I mean, I have, but not like in a personal, way.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I've been to their shows. I've shaken their hands multiple times. I've told them, hey, y'all's music played a massive part in my life. I love what y'all are doing. And that'll always be the case. I think it's just funny because it's like, I thought what a poetic way to kind of end what I was doing was like, okay, the last thing I'm going to do before I sign off with album reviews or album reactions is this. I'm going to talk about the band that kind of jump-started it to a degree. Will I do a reaction video? Probably not, as much as I would love to. I don't know if you saw, but we did a top 15 local Houston rock songs video.
Yeah.
It was similar to like a lot of my past stuff. Like I had written it all out and then they read it and they were like, who the heck talks like this? And I was like, I talk like this. And so them reading it was like, why do you
larger vocabulary?
Like, why do you talk and describe things this way? It was pretty funny. It was definitely funny to record all that. But to me, I know I'm all about like when I do music related stuff or like reaction type stuff, I love the idea of doing it with people and the community that we're a part of, because to me, it feels very supportive of like, yeah, I want to support the music scene that we're in. I want to support the Houston rock scene because there's so much talent here and so many cool people. And so to me, it's like, I wanted to do that. But I know too, with like, bands like Red and stuff, like I love listening to their music, but I guess I'm not really wanting to do reaction stuff anymore. And I respect people that do that, such as yourself. Because to me, it's like, we need those people that do that. We need people that like listen to things and share how they feel about it. But to me, I know my focus in a major way right now is recording original music, performing that music, Also writing and creating short films, which shout out, my short film is going to be coming out in March, like the beginning of March.
That's an award winner, people. Just
the award
letting you
winner,
know.
the award winning film. Hold it.
Yeah.
We have multiple awards. This is one award.
Yeah.
Absolutely awesome.
Yes.
So yeah, the award-winning film, The Hostage Situation, will be out on my YouTube channel at the beginning of March. I don't know the exact day, but I'll be promoting that.
My
And
review will be out at 2 hours after it comes out. So just so you
Nice.
know, I'll have Allison watch it with me because we've been binging a lot of films and we want to watch the best.
awesome. Well, I would be honored. I don't know why I'm coughing. I'd be honored.
Awesome. Well, I completely respect where you're coming from when you want to talk about your local bands. I was going to be shouting out Key Flight Captains, their possible interview coming up soon because
Nice.
they got more music coming out. So I'm
Got a
excited.
hold of Ryan?
Yeah, I actually Sarah.
Sarah, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
she-
we know them all very well. Like literally, Ryan, the lead singer for Key Flight, is producing our EP.
Oh my goodness.
I literally see him like every week, so I'm constantly like hanging out with the guy. So
You become buds. That's awesome.
yeah,
Yeah, I can't say the same for Red and other big bands. Like you were saying, it is hard to get that personal connection that you have when you're promoting the local groups. And I also saw your stories and saw your little shorts that were talking about the music. I loved that. I was like, yes, PJ's personality back in gear again. This is so nice.
Oh yeah.
And I love that. The next question I have is, what is your favorite song from your band so far?
Oh, my favorite song. Oh, this is really, yeah, it's a hard question. Well,
gonna be one we don't like.
Yeah, probably.
well, okay. I don't want to say a song that's not out yet because I feel bad like being like, oh yeah, like the song that it's not out yet, but
You're good.
they are good. They are good. You know what? Okay, I'm gonna say. I'm gonna go ahead and say our opening song from our new EP. It's called Zero, and I think it's a really good song. Like it's really dynamic. Like it 1 minute it's soft, the next minute it's really heavy, the next minute I'm like singing at a register that I'm like, ooh, I'm pushing myself here, but it's a fun song. It's heavy, and I mean, yeah, I love it because it's pushing all of us as a band. And that was one thing that I know with this song in particular, when we were writing it, we're like, we want to really challenge ourselves to think outside the box and try to come up with something that's going to push us as musicians and then push me as vocalist. And even just like from a lyrical standpoint, like just trying to think outside the box and get better with that, because it's been a learning process. Like, and I think that's the biggest thing is like when I listen to the early stuff, I'm like, that was what I went with. Like, hey, like I don't know why that was what I went with, but like it's cool that like as we've done this, it's like I can see the progression, I can see how we've gotten better, and I'm excited to share where we're at now with the world because I think we have some really good stuff on this EP. I'm really proud of it. I'm really excited to share it, and I think it's gonna be good. I think people will like it. I hope you like it.
Oh, you betcha. I'll be listening to Zero on repeat, and I'll be like, "This is PJ's favorite. I have to hear what he hears."
I like this song.
The final two questions I have one that's very serious. It's very important for everybody listening right now to this podcast. It's going to be coming out. I think I'm going to be putting out the following week, not this week, but the following week on Friday. So, where can we find you to support you guys? Your social media.
Okay. So it's going to be at Crushing Plains pretty much across the board, except on freaking TikTok, but we're not going to get into that. You can find us on Instagram. Instagram, we're most active on. That's going to be where we're most active. And then if you check out, obviously we're on Facebook as well. Also just Crushing Plains. You can find us on Twitter. We're there too. We have a YouTube channel also at Crushing Plains. I'm very much trying to be as uniform as possible. So everything is like, you look up Crushing Plains, at Crushing Plains, that's where we're at.
Mhm.
I mean, obviously we're on Spotify, we're on Apple Music, anywhere you can stream and or download music. I've said that so many times. But yeah, those are the places you can find us, and we try to stay pretty active and engaged with the community. And yeah, it's good stuff. We love what we do.
Mhm.
Absolutely. And I could see it every time that I see your posts and your stories, and I'm like, yes, yes. Because some bands, you know, they'll be like, oh, we have a brand new song coming out, but we won't talk about it for 2 months, and then it's going to come out, but we're going to forget that it's coming out. So, oh guys, now it's coming out tomorrow, go and see that brand new song. It's like, no, keep it going, keep it flowing. Like you guys say, you're up with it all the time. This is the most important question I've had in my mind for the beginning. Who is obsessed with the color orange? It is in almost every video. It's in like every single thumbnail on YouTube. And I was like, okay, they need to at least make the logo orange because this is so orange. What is that representation?
It's me. It's me.
Oh, see, I thought it was my computer. I was like, oh, maybe it's red. No, it's orange. It's PJ.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, so here's my thinking, my thought process. I've always been obsessed with color. And like color coding things, and because to me, like there's so much power in making your mind go to something when you see a specific color. Because like I know, like when I see the color red, it's like I think the White Stripes. Like that's where my mind goes. I think of like their color palette. I think of how much I enjoyed their music growing up. Like, and that to me is like how that works. And so, and also it's kind of apropos of nothing, but I don't know if you've ever seen the film Hero. It's a Chinese film, and it's fantastic. It's one of the best movies ever made. It's called Hero. Highly recommend it.
Hiro?
Yeah, Hero. H-E.
Oh, Hero.
Yeah.
Oh, Hero. Okay.
Yeah, sorry, I misheard you. Oh, yeah, it's called Hero. It's Chinese. It's super like the color in that film is fascinating. Because like there's literally like an entire scene where it's like there's these two women wearing red dresses and they're like fighting each other, and all the leaves are yellow. So it's literally just two people wearing red and like just a yellow everywhere. And it's
gosh,
it's an amazing movie. I can't praise it enough. But that movie, I remember watching it and thinking, the colors in this are incredible, and there's so much power in like, okay, this color for this specific moment, this color for this specific moment, to kind of elicit an emotional reaction. And I love that. So I've always been obsessed with color ever since I was like really, really young. And so to me, when we first started as a band, I was like, okay, I want us to have like a color code that we're like, this is the color code that we operate in. And this is why, like, when people see what we're doing, they can expect that, like, yeah, we kind of have a uniform, if you will. And we get dynamic in that. Like, our color code is white, black, and orange. So we change it up. But me, it's all about like operating within that box. And I'm not saying it'll always be that way. I'm not saying we'll always be the band that's orange or anything like that. But for this stage of where we're at as a band, I think it's really worked. Everyone is constantly talking about it, like, yeah, every time we see the color orange, I think of y'all. So I'm like, yep, there you go, it's working.
It is working for me as well. That's exactly what I think of when I think of the color orange. There's no other band like that.
Also, I was gonna say too, a big part of it was every other color was taken. So there's like
play with a lot of bands, and a lot of them are red, or all black,
or blue, or
and so those are very common color palettes that we see. And I mean,
nobody's doing orange.
Our stuff, like, that's my big orange drum set.
Yeah,
they're like, it's
perfect.
Anyone else is doing orange, so we were like, yeah, like we'll take orange, we'll make that our thing. And that was kind of a little bit of a battle, because it's like, I mean, I don't look good in orange, so it's like kind of like a, okay, you know, just kind of bite the bullet. I look way better in blue, but you know, orange is color. Like that's what's available, and that's what we made ours work for us. And there's also kind of to me, there's also an idea is the fact that like our band name is Crushing Plains. Crush. When I think the word crush, I think orange too.
Orange Crush, yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Another aspect of it that I'm like, yeah, it kind of works, you know. You never, I can't tell you that.
I was hoping it was going to be something simple, and the way that you elongated it, I was like, yes, this is the best explanation I ever wanted to hear. Because I was going to be like, we were just writing lyrics one day, and I had orange juice next to me, and I was just like, hey, why don't we make everything orange?
No, it's yeah. I'm just, I mean, even on our Instagram, I don't know if you've ever like scrolled down, but I'm like major obsessed with just making it look super uniform. Everything has to be like matching. Like if there's a red and black on this side, there has to be another red and black on this side. If there's pictures that are like blue and orange together, they need to all match all the way across. I think I might be OCD. I don't know.
Yeah. No, this is the mindset of a director. This is what happens. Yeah. Director of music, director of movies, director of anything. They have this vision in their mind, and as soon as something pops to them, it's like Mozart finding his first symphony. It's like he just knows this is gonna work, and nothing can stop him. Yes, you're that's it. That's it. How's that ego boost?
It just blew through the roof. Thank you so much.
Now we have to live with this.
Well, on that note, I want to thank all of you guys again for joining me for this podcast, and I really hope you had a good time. And thank you again, everybody that's listening right now. This band is amazing, and they deserve all the respect they get. They should be blowing up sometime soon as that EP comes out. I'll try to push it as much as I can into social media so you guys are aware of it. And thank you, PJ, Melanie, and James. You guys are awesome. Really. I love this. This was so much fun.
This was fun.
Thank you so much.
And I just got to say too, thank you for taking the time to come up with meaningful questions.
Yes.
This was so wonderful.
Great.
Like I'm not going to get into it, but I've done interviews before where it's clearly like they don't even know who we are. Like it's just like automated questions. Yeah. And it's kind of soul crushing because you're like, I'm super excited to talk about what we do. And it's like, so tell me about your business. And I'm like, my business? Like what? We're a band. Like I don't have a business, you know?
How is your schedule when it comes to getting the rides determined of every venue you're going to? Very important stuff. How much gas do you use in a week?
Exactly. the fact that you took the time to come up with meaningful questions, it was wonderful. So I've really enjoyed this. It was fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you for tuning in to the Media Man Dan podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, feel free to like and subscribe. Thanks for listening. Have an awesome day and stay safe out there. Peace.